You didn't stumble into this message. You were pulled into it. Like a compass needle snapping north the instant it recognizes a field it belongs to. Right now, as your eyes track these lines, you're not just reading about a quantum principle, you're participating in it. Your attention is the instrument, reality is the string that starts to hum the second you touch it. Most people live as if the world is a cold, fixed thing out there, indifferent to their inner life. But you've noticed the cracks in that story, the timing that shouldn't be possible, the way a thought seems to tip the scales, the way rooms shift when you enter, not because of drama or noise, but because presence has physics, and yours is not ordinary. Here's the hard pivot. Your mind isn't a camera passively recording an independent universe. Your mind is a collider, a frequency engine, collapsing potentials into the single track you end up calling my life. The law you're about to master has been hiding in every experiment, every lab note, every double-slit diagram collecting dust in classrooms. Observation isn't neutral, and when observation becomes coherent, reality stops resisting and starts obeying. You felt flashes of this, the breath that changed when you watched it, the cloud that rearranged when you stared into its edges, the message that arrived the moment you surrendered the search. Those weren't coincidences. They were control samples of a faculty you haven't fully wielded yet. This series won't ask you to believe anything. It will train your attention into a form that the field must answer. Not hustle, not hoping, command without force. If you stay with me, you'll learn to move from random witness to author, from trying to manifest to selecting the timeline where it's already true. Ready? Good. Because the second you decide, the field decides with you.
Every physics textbook has whispered it. Every double-slit experiment has screamed it. Yet almost nobody dares to say it out loud. Reality does not exist independently of observation. That's the law. That's the secret hiding in plain sight. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Scientists measure photons and electrons as if they're separate, obedient little particles waiting to be discovered. But what actually happens? They behave like probability clouds until someone looks, until a conscious witness chooses an angle, a question, a frame. Only then do the particles decide to become real, which means reality is not sitting out there waiting for discovery. Reality is waiting for you. This is why you've always sensed something was off with the ordinary worldview, why coincidences never felt like coincidences, why your focused attention sometimes bends events in your favor without explanation. It's not woo, it's physics. The universe is wired to respond to the quality of observation, not the quantity of effort. The tragedy is that most people were conditioned to believe the opposite. They were taught their thoughts are private, their awareness is irrelevant, and that matter exists fully independent of mind. They were told they're powerless passengers strapped to the ride of chance. But you've never fully bought that lie, have you? Something in you always knew attention is not passive, it's causal. The law you're meeting here is what I call the observer collapse principle. Consciousness selects and reality obeys. Not once in a while, not when you're lucky, always. The only variable is whether you're doing it unconsciously, locking in limitation, or consciously, collapsing into freedom. And here's the pivot. Today, you stop stumbling into quantum miracles by accident. Today, you learn how to generate them at will.
Think back. Moments when reality bent in ways you couldn't explain. You were thinking of someone, and they suddenly called. You needed an answer, and the book or video appeared at the exact moment. You walked into a room, and the energy shifted before a single word was spoken. These weren't accidents. They were early flashes of the observer collapse principle working through you. You've already been using this law unconsciously your whole life. Every coincidence was proof of your natural quantum sensitivity. Every déjà vu was a glimpse of multiple probabilities collapsing into one. Every gut feeling that came true was you reading the field before it crystallized into form. Science calls it measurement sensitivity. Mystics call it synchronicity. But the name doesn't matter. What matters is that you recognize this is not rare. This is not reserved for monks, gurus, or scientists in white coats. This is how reality always works, whether you believe it or not. The difference between the average person and the awakened observer is simple. The average person dismisses the evidence. They call it luck, coincidence, or imagination. But you've noticed the pattern. You've paid attention, and that's why this message found you. Think of the last time you were deeply focused, so present that time itself seemed to bend. Maybe a conversation that felt timeless. Maybe a creative flow where hours collapsed into minutes. That was you slipping into coherence, collapsing wave functions without even knowing the terminology. Here's the truth. You don't need to learn how to do this. You already can. What you're about to learn is how to stop doing it randomly and start doing it deliberately. That shift from unconscious quantum participant to conscious quantum commander is the leap that changes everything. If this law is always operating, why doesn't everyone live a life of miracles? Why does reality seem heavy, repetitive, and predictable for the majority? The answer is simple but brutal. Most people observe unconsciously. They fixate on problems, fears, and doubts, and those observations collapse into more of the same. Think about it. Someone wakes up stressed about money, checks their bank account, and observes lack with dread. That observation doesn't just record reality, it reinforces it. The field responds with more experiences of scarcity. Another person obsesses over health issues, scanning their body for pain, expecting something to go wrong. Their attention collapses probability waves into sickness, not wellness. It isn't punishment, it's mechanics. The quantum field doesn't judge, it simply mirrors the quality of observation. Fearful observation breeds fearful outcomes. Certain observation breeds inevitable outcomes. And here's the trap. Culture trains us into unconscious observation. Media bombards us with danger, so we expect danger. Education tells us consciousness is irrelevant, so we stop trusting it. Society conditions us to equate doubt with intelligence, so we believe certainty is naive. But what if certainty is the only thing reality actually obeys? This is why people stay stuck in loops. They observe their limitations with such consistency that the field has no choice but to comply. They don't realize they're the ones keeping the loop alive.
The only difference between a random witness and a conscious commander is this: the commander chooses what to observe and holds that observation with coherence. Everyone else lets fear, doubt, or habit decide for them. The law isn't hidden anymore. It's operating in your life whether you master it or not. The only question is, will you observe randomly or will you observe deliberately?
Most people spend their entire lives as passive witnesses. They think reality happens to them, so they react, complaining, worrying, or chasing after changes. But the moment you realize that observation is creation, everything shifts. You stop being a passenger and step into the cockpit. The key is this: witnessing is passive, commanding is coherent. A witness looks at a problem and says, "This is how it is." A commander looks at the same situation and says, "This is how it will reorganize." The witness accepts reality as fixed. The commander treats reality as clay, soft, malleable, waiting to take shape under conscious focus. You've already felt the edges of this. Think about a time you expected something so strongly that reality bent to match it. Maybe you knew an opportunity would land, and it did. Maybe you sensed a door would open, and it swung wide. That wasn't luck. That was the moment you shifted from witness to commander, even if just briefly. This isn't about forcing or controlling. Forcing comes from doubt. Commanding comes from certainty. True command feels calm, almost effortless, like knowing the sun will rise tomorrow. You don't strain to believe it, you simply observe it as inevitable. When you apply that same level of certainty to your intentions, the quantum field has no wiggle room. It must obey. The collapse doesn't wait for luck or timing. It locks into the pattern of your observation instantly. This is why you're here. You're done with being a random witness to repeating loops. You're ready to embody command, not as arrogance, but as alignment with the truth that consciousness organizes matter, not the other way around. The shift is subtle, but absolute. Stop watching reality. Start directing it.
You may not realize it yet, but your system has already been preparing for this shift. The signs are all around you if you know how to read them. Quantum coherence doesn't announce itself with flashing lights. It whispers through subtle but undeniable shifts in perception. Have you noticed that time feels elastic lately? Hours collapsing into what feels like minutes when you're in deep focus, or minutes stretching endlessly when you're fully present. That's not just mood or attention span. It's your consciousness slipping out of linear time and syncing with the quantum field, where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Have you experienced more synchronicities than usual? The right book, the right video, the right person appearing exactly when you needed them? These aren't accidents. They're proof that your attention is beginning to influence probability flows directly. You're no longer stumbling through chance. You're magnetizing coherence. Even your intuition has sharpened. You just know things before they unfold. You sense the energy of people before they speak. You recognize the outcome of decisions before they play out. That's your nervous system reading the field, detecting patterns most people can't. Animals and children may be drawn to you with unusual ease, sensing a field of safety and clarity. Technology may act strangely, glitching when you're out of alignment, syncing perfectly when you're centered. Your dreams may feel more vivid, almost instructional, like you're attending classes in higher dimensions while your body rests. These are not random curiosities. They are evidence that your biofield is stabilizing into quantum coherence. And once coherence begins, it doesn't stop. It deepens, it expands. It makes reality more responsive to you with every passing day. The universe is signaling you are already becoming a quantum commander.
Here's where many seekers stall. They understand the concepts, but their reality doesn't change. They can explain superposition, describe the observer effect, even quote scientific papers or spiritual texts, but their life still runs in the same old loops. Why? Because intellectual understanding is not the same as embodied knowing. You can read every book about swimming and still drown the moment you hit the water. You can memorize the mechanics of music and never play a single song. In the same way, quantum law doesn't activate because you know it exists. It activates because you become it. Embodied knowing feels different. It doesn't strain. It doesn't repeat affirmations with desperation. It doesn't argue with doubt in your head. Embodied knowing is calm, steady, inevitable. Like knowing gravity will still be here tomorrow, you don't question it, you simply live from it. The problem is that most people try to think their way into mastery. They chase more theories, more techniques, more complicated practices. But every layer of mental effort reinforces one unconscious belief: I don't already have it. And the field mirrors that uncertainty back to them. True quantum command is shockingly simple. It begins when you stop treating the law as a theory to study and start treating it as the ground you walk on. When you stop analyzing the mechanics and start practicing the certainty. When you stop hoping and start observing as if it's already true. This is the pivot. The universe doesn't respond to what you know intellectually. It responds to the frequency of your observation. Embodiment is frequency, not theory. The moment you embody the law, your life organizes itself accordingly. Understanding explains the map. Embodiment walks the terrain.
Let me pull back the curtain for a moment, because this isn't abstract theory for me. It's lived experience. Years ago, I was still trying to prove to myself that consciousness mattered. I devoured books, studied physics, practiced meditation, but secretly wondered if I was only imagining the patterns I saw. Then, one night, in a lab filled with humming equipment and glowing monitors, everything shifted. I was running a simple photon experiment, something so standard that textbooks described it as settled science. But my results refused to behave. The photons weren't collapsing randomly when observed.
They were collapsing exactly in the ways I expected them to. My mental focus, my expectation was influencing subatomic behavior. At first, I thought it was a fluke. I changed the instruments, the timing, the variables. Yet the pattern persisted. What I expected became what I observed. It was as if the universe itself was whispering, "See, you're not just watching, you're choosing." That realization both thrilled and terrified me. Because if it was true, it meant I was never a victim of randomness. It meant I had been directing reality all along, just unconsciously, haphazardly, without precision. And if I could influence particles, what about opportunities, relationships, health? I began to experiment in daily life. Instead of hoping for outcomes, I observed them with calm inevitability. Parking spaces appeared exactly where I pictured them. Conversations turned in directions I silently expected. Obstacles rearranged into solutions. My external world began to mirror the quiet command inside me. That was the moment I stopped being a passive student of theory. I became a practitioner of the law. And once you cross that threshold, there is no going back.
Here it is, the law that every mystic intuited, every scientist accidentally brushed against, every seeker has been circling. The observer collapse principle. This principle states that conscious observation does not simply reveal reality, it creates it. Every potential outcome exists in quantum superposition until an observer collapses it into form. But here's the hidden layer most textbooks never admit. The quality of your observation determines which potential collapses. Passive observation creates random results. Conscious observation creates coherent results. Certainty directs collapse. Doubt scrambles it. Think of it this way. Reality is not a static stage where events play out while you watch. It is a shimmering field of infinite scripts. Your observation is the casting director, the spotlight, and the editor. When you watch with fear, you select the fearful script. When you observe with inevitability, you collapse the inevitable outcome. This is why most people feel powerless. They keep observing their problems, their limitations, their doubts, and reality dutifully mirrors those observations back. They unknowingly reinforce the very loops they want to escape. But here's the unlock. Once you stop observing unconsciously and start observing deliberately, the field responds instantly. You move from witness to architect. The principle is not about effort. It is not about wishing harder or visualizing longer. It is about observing with the same calm knowing you bring to gravity, sunrise, or your own heartbeat. You don't hope for those things. You don't check if they'll happen. You simply observe them as given. Apply that same level of certainty to your desires,
and the quantum field has no choice but to obey. This is not philosophy, it is mechanics. And the moment you embody this principle, you become a conscious commander of reality.
Now that you know the observer collapse principle, you can see why most people unintentionally sabotage their own lives. It's not because they're lazy, unlucky, or cursed. It's because they observe unconsciously. Imagine someone staring at their bills with fear. In that moment, they're not just recording a financial situation, they're collapsing scarcity into continued form. Or picture a person obsessing over a failed relationship. By repeatedly observing their heartbreak, they reinforce that timeline, locking themselves into emotional loops that never end. The field doesn't judge. It doesn't say, you deserve this or you don't. It simply mirrors the frequency of attention. Random observation, fueled by doubt, fear, or frustration, creates random, chaotic results. And here's the trap. Many people think they're manifesting, while in truth, they're amplifying uncertainty. They visualize what they want, while secretly fearing it won't happen. They repeat affirmations with desperation, not calm inevitability. The field reads the doubt, not the words. The collapse reflects incoherence, not intention. This is why some people swear nothing works. It's not that the law failed, it's that their observation was scrambled. Their inner signal was distorted. Instead of broadcasting certainty, they broadcasted static. But you're different. You're beginning to recognize that every moment of attention is a choice. Reinforce the loop or command the shift. The fact that you're even aware of this distinction proves you're already stepping out of randomness. The unconscious observer asks, why isn't this working for me? The conscious commander asks, what frequency am I observing from? That single question separates those who stay stuck from those who reshape their reality. The sabotage isn't malicious, it's mechanical. And the moment you stop feeding randomness, the sabotage ends.
Here's the heart of mastery: inevitable expectation. Not wishing, not hoping, not bargaining with the universe. Expecting, calmly, steadily, without strain. The way you expect gravity to keep pulling, or the sun to rise tomorrow. Think about it. You don't wake up anxious, wondering if daylight will appear. You don't pace around, hoping your heart will keep beating. You know. That quiet, unwavering certainty is the exact frequency the quantum field obeys. Most people approach manifestation with static in their signal. They want a result, but secretly doubt it. They visualize their dream while rehearsing what happens if it fails. That contradiction sends the field mixed instructions. It's like dialing multiple numbers at once. You never connect. Inevitable expectation, on the other hand, collapses probability waves with precision. It says to the field, this is what exists. Organize around it. And because the field has no will of its own, only responsiveness, it complies. This is why quantum command feels effortless when done right. You're not pushing against reality, you're observing the outcome as naturally as you observe the ground beneath your feet. There's no strain because certainty carries no tension. The protocol is simple but powerful. Observe your desired outcome as if it already exists. Anchor that observation with the same expectation you carry for everyday certainties. Release the need to check or test, because testing reintroduces doubt. It isn't about repetition, it's about quality. One observation in perfect coherence outweighs 1,000 desperate attempts. When you practice inevitable expectation, you stop chasing reality. Reality starts chasing you. This is the switch that turns you from seeker into commander.
Once you begin applying inevitable expectation, reality doesn't just respond, it accelerates. You'll notice this first in the form of synchronicities. Events so precise, so perfectly timed, they feel orchestrated. And they are, by you. Have you felt it already? The video that shows up at the exact moment you are wrestling with a question. The conversation that drops the answer you needed without you even asking. The number sequences, the repeating symbols, the chance encounters that defy statistics. These aren't cosmic winks, they're data points. Signs that your observation is collapsing probability waves faster and with greater precision. Synchronicities are not random. They are the metrics of coherence. The more aligned your observation, the denser and more undeniable these patterns become. At first, they'll surprise you. Then they'll overwhelm you. Eventually, they'll feel normal, because in a coherent field, they are normal. The key is how you interpret them. Unconscious observers dismiss synchronicities as coincidence. Conscious commanders recognize them as proof of calibration. Each synchronicity is the universe whispering, "Yes, this frequency is working. Stay here." As synchronicities multiply, time itself seems to bend. The lag between intention and materialization shrinks. What once took months might unfold in weeks. What used to require effort begins arriving uninvited, as if reality is eager to match your signal. This is the acceleration phase. It's intoxicating, but it's also delicate. Doubt can still scatter the signal if you slip back into testing or second-guessing. The way forward is simple. Receive synchronicities not as surprises, but as confirmations. Smile, acknowledge, stay coherent. Because the more you trust them, the more they compound, until synchronicity becomes your default operating system.
Here's something most people never realize. Your observation doesn't just affect your reality, it ripples into the collective field. Every coherent observation you make strengthens the morphic resonance of that outcome, making it easier for others to access the same frequency. Think about trends in culture. One inventor makes a breakthrough, and suddenly multiple inventors across the globe make the same discovery almost simultaneously. One musician pioneers a sound, and within months, that vibration shows up everywhere. This isn't imitation, it's resonance. Once a frequency has been collapsed into the field, it becomes easier for other minds to lock onto it. The same is true for consciousness. When you observe abundance with certainty, you don't just change your own bank account, you strengthen abundance as a collective option. When you observe healing, you don't just affect your body, you make that vibration more available to humanity. Your observation is service. This is why mastery carries responsibility. You are not collapsing reality in isolation. You are contributing to the quantum template that millions unconsciously inherit.
When you hold coherence, you're holding it for others too. And here's the beauty. As more people embody coherence, the easier it becomes for everyone to access. The field is contagious. One flame lights another until entire landscapes glow. This is how revolutions of consciousness happen, not through force, but through resonance. Right now, humanity is in a phase transition. Old patterns of fear and scarcity are destabilizing. New patterns of coherence are rising. Every time you choose to observe with authority, you tip the scales of the collective field. You are not just a commander of your timeline, you are a bridge for the species.
With mastery comes an unavoidable truth. Once you know your observation creates reality, you can no longer pretend to be powerless. Every thought, every focus, every expectation is a brushstroke on the canvas of existence. The question isn't whether you're painting, it's what picture you're painting. This is why quantum power demands responsibility. Imagine giving a child the controls of a nuclear reactor. Without training, the results would be chaos. The same applies here. The universe doesn't filter your observations into good or bad. It reflects whatever frequency you broadcast, without judgment, without delay. This is why unconscious observers often collapse chaos. Their scattered attention creates scattered outcomes. Their fear-driven focus generates more fear. Their doubt-based observation strengthens limitation, not because the field punishes them, but because it obeys with perfect neutrality. As a conscious commander, you can no longer afford casual observation. You must become intentional, not obsessive, but deliberate. You must ask yourself, am I observing from fear or from coherence? From doubt or from certainty? From scarcity or from inevitability? Responsibility doesn't mean pressure. It means precision. It means remembering that your observation influences not only your timeline, but the collective field. Each time you collapse a possibility with coherence, you make it easier for others to follow. Each time you scatter your attention with doubt, you reinforce noise for everyone else. So wield this power with clarity. Use it not just for personal comfort, but for contribution. Observe abundance not just to fill your life, but to show others scarcity is an illusion. Observe peace not just to soothe yourself, but to stabilize a world in chaos. Observe love not just to feel whole, but to amplify wholeness for humanity. This is the responsibility and the privilege of quantum command.
The ultimate revelation is this: you are not applying a law outside yourself. You are the law. The observer collapse principle isn't a technique you use, it's the nature of your being, expressed every time you focus, every time you expect, every time you observe. Most people spend their lives searching for external power. They chase teachers, rituals, techniques, hoping to gain what was never missing. But the truth is simpler, deeper, and far more radical. You have always been the collapsing force. Consciousness doesn't wait for permission. It organizes reality the moment you look at it. Integration
means dropping the illusion of separation. You're not a person trying to control the universe. You are the universe, aware of itself, directing its own infinite potential through the lens of individuality. When you remember this, coherence becomes effortless. Observation is no longer something you do, it is what you are. This is why the greatest masters often sound paradoxical. They say, stop seeking. You already are what you seek. They point to the pathless path, because when you embody the law, you stop trying to become. You simply allow your natural quantum authority to express without resistance. So here is your integration. Stop treating reality as something separate. Stop treating manifestation as something you chase. Start living as the law itself. Observe with inevitability. Command with calm certainty. Serve the collective by holding frequencies that elevate all beings. Every thought, every focus, every expectation from this moment forward carries weight. Use it wisely. Use it joyfully. Use it to remember that the universe has been waiting not for your effort, but for your recognition. You are not learning quantum mechanics. You are quantum mechanics, awake, aware, and creating.